Hello there. This is the Baryonyx Arctic Fox. It's a 400 grit ANSI, about a 700 grit JIS standard stone. It's meant to be a medium or kind of coarse stone in a sharpening routine. And this is the Marbles Large Stockman in stag that I reviewed a while back. We're going to go ahead and put an edge. This has got a pretty good edge on it. It doesn't shave, but it's got a decent edge on it. And we're going to go ahead and, or a beginning of an edge, let's put it that way. We're going to go ahead and put an edge on this knife with this stone. Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry it's been so long since I've done a sharpening video. Basically, I did a shaving video just a while ago, and basically discussed why I haven't been as active, but it basically boils down to my health. No, I don't have anything other than standard stuff that I always deal with. I'm not dying or anything like that. Praise God. But I have diabetes and I have asthma really, really bad. And it boils down to the fact that in the wintertime, my allergies, which I also have, cause a really, really difficult time for me when it comes to breathing, because they basically flare up my asthma, and I have a hard time breathing. Matter of fact, you'll probably find this funny. My grandson called my wife this morning, or this evening, and the first thing she asked him after she asked him how he was and all that is, did you go vote? And he said, well, I'm really not, I'm really actively avoiding political discussions. And my wife said, and you called me? And I started coughing, or I started laughing really, really hard. Because that was funny. And I laughed so hard. I'm clearing my throat now because of that bit of laughing that I was doing just then. But I laughed so hard that I began to cough and choke. And then I started to wheeze and couldn't breathe and couldn't draw air back up in my lungs and literally collapsed onto the kitchen floor for lack of oxygen. So, and I'm fine. It's just, I've been lightheaded big time for a long time if I do any kind of strenuous exercise, or if I end up laughing too much, stuff like that. So I was used to like the lightheadedness, but this is the first time that I ever did that. But like I said, it was funny when she said, you called me. I just busted out laughing. And you have to know, my wife, she has never really been into politics much until this year. There's something else. See, if you have a belly, I use it. I can, you know, if I'm gonna have it, it's gonna go to work. So I'll sit it up there so that my stone won't slide. All kind of uses for it. It helps me pick up stuff. All kinds of things. And yeah, before anybody says it, I do realize that if I lost some weight, that would probably help. But there we go. Weight is something that I have struggled with most of my life. And I don't expect that I will win that battle anytime soon. Because I love to eat. So anyway, but and what I'm going to do with this stone is around 700 grit on the Japanese industrial scale. So this is going to be the stone I take it to. That's lovely. The stone that I ended on. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. No. Let's see. Do you see that is cutting hair? The reason it's doing that is not because the knife is particularly sharp. This is something that I've been trying to illustrate, find a way to illustrate. There's a very fine burr that's rolled up here on this side. And that burr is what's cutting that hair, not the edge of the knife. That's why you want to get a burr all the way here to here and then all the way from here to here. And then remove it, because you can end up, and I'm just going to do this for a while. You can end up, now you can end up being left-handed and shave hair with one side of the blade and not really look at the other side and think your knife is sharp when in actuality all you got's a burr on it. So, and I was going like this without a complete burr. You can sharpen like this as well. There are many people that sharpen like this. This is another viable technique. And I sharpen like this once I get the burr and deburr it and go to the finer stones. I end up sharpening this way from then on because I really don't need to raise a burr after lovely. I really don't need to raise the burr after I raise it on the lower stone and remove it. The rest of the time you're just polishing. Finer and finer polish on it. So you've already apexed the blade, completely, you don't really need to do that. But now, I'm going to do this as a change up. You can do this. The thing of it is it's really critical to be able to maintain the same angle on a knife that you're sharpening on the stone in order to get a sharp knife. And that's why the burr method that I teach, and you can raise a burr like this too, it's just not as, that's pretty darn sharp. Not quite there on both sides yet though. But you can raise a burr like this too, it just won't be, generally won't be as heavy. But the reason that I teach that burr method instead of this method here, it's for a beginner and anybody else for that matter. That is really the dead simplest way that I know of to sharpen a blade. Because you know, if you get a burr from here all the way to here, that you have held a proper angle and that you have gotten an edge on it. See, I got a burr on that. Anyway, you've held an angle on the edge of that blade, that side of the blade, and then when you go to the other side and repeat the process, you know, number one, you've maintained your angle properly on either side, and you know that you've apexed that edge. And so it's dead simple. Yeah, see, that's trying to shave, but not yet. As you gain experience and don't have as much of a problem maintaining an angle, you can do this. Or you can do stuff like just choose a number of strokes on each side. But that beginning technique that I teach on this channel helps you to build the chops, helps you to understand the angle, and all of that you need, and I laid that because I'm talking. But it helps you to understand how to find and hold that angle. And that is, it doesn't matter what, even if you do what people call a lot of times Japanese half strokes. I know guys that kind of joke. I don't like that technique. I think it's way more aggressive than most steels require. But I'm not knocking anybody that does it. The method that you use is what works for you. I think my method is better, but it's because that's what I prefer and because it is dead simple. But any of those techniques, yeah, I even know guys that do stuff like that, okay? If the whole idea is you got to be able to maintain that angle. One of the reasons that I don't teach those what you call what I would call half strokes and stuff like that, is because it's a whole lot easier for a beginner to have the blade doing even an expert, somebody that's done it for a long time. If you forget, it's a whole lot easy to have the knife doing this number as you're coming back and forth on the stone, and you'll get a rounder sort of bevel out of that, if you do, than what you would with this. So that's my methodology and why I teach what I teach. And like I said, you can do what you want, but if you want to learn sharpening from me, these are the methods that I teach. This is the method I teach. The sharpen one side, go to the other, give it a shot on the other side till you get a burr. See, I've got no burr whatsoever there, but that's a beautifully sharp edge. Other side as well. That blade is nice and sharp. And what I'm going to do with it is now I'm going to run it through to across a chromium pasted strop. Standard copy paper. Just, I think, plenty sharp. I'll do whatever I need it to do. You don't have to have. Let me clean my stone while we talk. Super fine stones to sharpen a knife. As a matter of fact, this being JIS, Japanese Industrial Scale, 700 JIS, it's a bit finer than what you might need for most pocket knives, okay? Some soap here. The Norton 400, fine. Or even a Norton medium is way more fine than most pocket knives will ever need. So that and like a chromium pasted strop, you don't need a whole lot. Finer is nicer, but if you don't have a lot of money, this stone was, I can't remember, I think this stone was like 30 bucks, something like that. You can get the Norton medium fine or coarse fine for like $23, and they will keep whatever knives you've got just as sharp as you need them to be. Everything, that and a pasted strop, boom, Bob's your uncle. All right, bless you. I'll talk to you later.